Hi everyone, so we are going to continue our reading from where we left off. We are still in the book of Matthew in chapter 8, and today we're going to proceed into our next section here. But before we do that, let's recall what we have read so far. So in the book of Matthew in chapter 8 highlights the aftermath of Jesus' teaching. It detailed Jesus' healing and miracle ministry. The first section showed Jesus' interaction with the leper right after he came down from the mountain, healing him from years of affliction and suffering. And in this last section that we just read, it talked about the Roman officer who came to Jesus asking that Jesus heals his servant. He heals the servant instantly, but what was inspiring was this man's faith. So now, this section is very short. It's about Jesus healing many people, and it's 3 verses long, and it begins in verse 14, concludes in verse 17. And it says, when Jesus arrived at Peter's house, Peter's mother-in-law was sick in bed with a high fever. But when Jesus touched her hand, the fever left her. Then she got up and prepared a meal for him. That evening, many demon-possessed people were brought to Jesus. He cast out the evil spirit with a simple command, and he healed all the sick. This fulfilled the word of the Lord through the prophet Isaiah, who said, "He took our sicknesses and removed our diseases." So Jesus heals Peter's mother-in-law. So Peter, formerly known as Simon, was actually one of Jesus's first disciples, whom he called in chapter 4, if you could recall that. Now we know that he is married, which is great. It didn't stop there. There were many that heard and brought their friends and families and relatives, trusting that they will be healed. And the Bible says that Jesus healed all the sick and cast out evil spirit with a simple command. This brings up a prophecy from Isaiah. He took our sicknesses and removed our diseases. Let's refer back to chapter 1 and recall the angel that visited Joseph and what he said, that he will save his people from their sins. He took means in Hebrew, he lifted the burden and affliction from the people he healed and placed it upon himself. And the person he healed no longer carries that which was lifted. And to remove in Hebrew means carrying the load meant for someone else. So a transfer took place here. All the healing, the miracle we just read, meant it came at a cost. We miss this and don't give honor where honor is due. I didn't know why the Holy Spirit actually had me in this particular verse last week, and I was trying to decipher and understand the depth in this verse. For some people, he remains a name in the past. For me, he is everything and beyond. To understand this further, the book of Leviticus in the Old Testament shows what instruction God gave to Moses to atone for the sins of the people of Israel. But we will get there eventually. We have a very long ways to go, but by God's grace, we will get there. But for now, I want to leave you with that, because this was a very inspiring verse for me, and I hope you read into it, but also referring to the Old Testament, because there's a lot of referral to the Old Testament. Well, I wanted us to start the New Testament because there is an understanding and a misrepresentation of who Jesus is, and it's important for people to know who he is by reading the word as it is written, as it is spoken. So I leave you with that today, and I will talk to you later.